What better way to start off a brand new year with a brand new clean slate than to review the last year and the worst parts of it? We're going to do our top 5 worst movies of 2018, and we want to hear your top 5 list. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
And this is our top 5 worst movies for 2018. Super excited. Is that the right word? Super excited to dive. I just love talking about movies.
I'm just going to say last year was a very mediocre year. So it was hard for me to pick my best and my worst this year. There was only maybe 1 or 2 that stood out for the worst for me. And so those are number 1 and 2.
All right, so we're going to dive into this. Laura, kick us off with your number 5.
So for number 5, I am picking Robin Hood.
Ooh, yeah.
I enjoyed the movie while I was there, but it's like Jamie Foxx just checked out that whole movie, if you ask me. And they tried. You could tell they tried, but I just felt like they all knew. I mean, I don't get why part of it was modern clothing and some of it was back then, and why they had what looked like beer bottles. I mean, but it
when they made their Molotov cocktails, and some of it looked like olden days, but then one was a very clear green beer bottle.
Yeah, so I don't know. It just didn't click for me. And then for number 4, I picked Cloverfield, something Paradox. Oh my gosh.
The Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, it's just Cloverfield Paradox.
It's just Cloverfield Paradox.
The first and second Cloverfield, the first Cloverfield was Second Cloverfield, I loved. This Cloverfield, I was disappointed big time. I could tell. That's why I went straight to Netflix and not to the big screen. So I'm glad I didn't pay, primo dollars for it, because it was a huge disappointment for me.
It's really funny because I went back and forth on the Cloverfield Paradox because I think the first time I watched it, and I think I've only seen it the one time, never had the urge to go back.
No, because it's not good.
But the first time I watched it, it was a surprise that it even dropped on Netflix and everything.
Oh, yeah, it just popped out of the blue.
So that kind of just I had a little bit more fun with that, but the more I've thought about it, the less I've liked it. I debated where it was going to fall on my list, and it is in my worst movies of 2018, just didn't quite make the top 5.
So honorable mention, got it.
Probably, but we're not to those yet.
Right.
My number 5 is a Netflix movie, The Titan.
I don't know what movie you're talking about.
It's the one where he turns into an alien. I thought the premise was interesting, that the Earth's resources are used up, present generation is not gonna make it. And so they have to figure out how the human race is gonna survive. So one crazeball scientist decides what we're gonna do is move to one of Saturn's moons, Titan, and then we gotta force human evolution and make humans adapted to that atmosphere instead of ours. So the premise, you didn't watch
That sounds like a movie I would like.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So I would think you would have watched that with me.
I would think so.
I must have fallen asleep.
You must have.
It must have been that bad.
It must have been that bad. It's not that the movie's that bad. That's why it's at number 5, because it's not like the worst film ever made.
No, because the worst film we would have laughed at.
Yes, but it was just, the ending was so unsatisfactory. We even had the chance to watch it this Christmas when we were hanging out with my family.
I remember
and
that.
I said no because the closer it gets to the end, the less interesting it gets. So that's just kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay, number 4.
My number 4 was The Darkest Mind.
I almost put that one in mine.
Oh,
it didn't make the cut.
And I wanted to like this one. I really did. But
I did too.
I'm not a fan of the YA genre. Very tired of the post-apocalyptic YA genre, and this one was the YA of YA movies. Now, I got a lot of comments when I did the review because I didn't give it the most positive review. A lot of people saying, check out the book, and, the book is so good, and a lot of people did like the movie, but people really did like the book. So I haven't checked out the book. I would be curious to check it out based on some people's reactions, but the film as it stands by itself, I can't help it. I was utterly disappointed in it. It's really funny. I went back to watch my review, and our cold open was us in the theater alone. Nobody else was in the theater with us at all.
I remember that.
Yes, everybody was seeing Winnie the Pooh, and we went and saw The Darkest Minds.
That's right.
And so, that one did not hold my attention.
So for number 3, Hold the Dark.
Oh, yeah!
Yes, it was not good.
No!
I was
that should have been on my list.
I knew you would say that when I said it.
Oh!
That movie it was rough.
When you're watching it, it's that really independent style where
we're talking.
Talks so low that you have to lean into the screen to hear it. And then they talk
I forgot that.
so slow. So every bit of dialogue just takes an excruciating amount of time to get through.
Well, and then there's this one part where there's this like serious battle going down between this one guy in the house shooting out all the cops.
Yeah, that's
spoilers. Sorry, that just doesn't hold anything to the story.
It really doesn't.
But let me tell you, it just kept going. I'm like, okay, I am done.
Well, it's
and
because
like,
everything going up to it was so boring.
Yes, and I'm like, come on. I remember we paused it like what I thought would have been halfway through, and we were only a quarter of the way through.
Oh my gosh.
It was, but we powered through because we kept thinking it would get better. It did not.
No, let's correct this. We were watching this with my family over Christmas. My mom powered
thinking
through
it was going to get better and made us watch
because she
it.
selected the movie and wanted to get through it. The rest of us wanted to throw our shoes at the TV because if the stream broke, maybe we could stop.
And the only reason she wanted to watch it is because she's a huge fan of Alexander Skarsgård. And, you know, the problem is I felt like everybody who acted did well.
Yeah.
It just was not good. So,
Man.
that
And it
is
left
why that one's
so little of an impression on me.
Exactly.
It's not even on my list.
That's why it was number 3. And then for number 2, this one I might get some hate by because a lot of people like this. I could not stand First Man.
Yeah.
I was so bored in that movie. I did not want to see it. I wanted to turn it off, but we paid money for it. That was the time of Movie Pass still. That was like the one movie we got for free. And that month. And so I just did not like it. Not even a little bit. And I mean, I thought the acting was dry. And it's funny because I hear people talking about how it's such a great movie. And I'm just like, what movie did I watch? I'm like, did I see a weird offshoot of that movie? But no, thank you. Sorry.
Number 3 for me, Robin Hood.
Oh.
So, I don't know what else to add that you didn't already add, other than the movie was just ridiculous.
It was. I thought you enjoyed it.
There were aspects of it I enjoyed, but it's like, it's one of those movies, like, I gave it an average rating. I think I forget. And it was in the C range and gave it a totally average rating. I know that. And the more I've thought about it, the less I liked it.
It gets worse and worse.
Oh, gosh. I was watching Sean Chandler's Worst Movies, and he pointed out something about Robin Hood that I forgot about. The opening crawl where they're like, this is the Robin Hood tale. Like you've never seen it. Nuh-uh.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not. If you want the real story, like you've never seen it, then you go watch, Ridley Scott's version with Russell Crowe. Like, to me, that's the more realistic.
That was a little different, too.
And it was the more realistic version. But, I mean, I don't know.
Watch the cartoon.
Yeah, watch the Disney. I don't know. I couldn't get behind this movie.
At all.
Yeah, there were parts of it that were entertaining, like him and the bow and arrow, and
Well, it was cool seeing some of the bow because we like archery, so some of that was pretty cool looking. But that was it.
And all the modern references and all that stuff. It's like, gosh, just pick a lane, okay? Like, A Knight's Tale made sense because they made that their fun thing. They opened it with "We Will Rock You" for crying in the dirt.
Yeah.
So they just made it a point. This is a medieval movie, but we're going to throw modern stuff in here because it's just the style we're choosing and we're going to have fun. Robin Hood couldn't figure out what it was the whole way.
No, because they were trying to be too serious. And I think that was a problem, is it was trying to be too serious, and I'm just like...
And how did he go from... I mean, I get it. He was a soldier and he had training, but it took him 2 days, and now he is Batman. Or the Green Arrow, whatever. It was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Don't waste your money on that movie.
Yeah. And then for me, at number 2, same as Laura's, First Man.
Oh, boom!
Yeah! I actually have nothing to add to the conversation because...
Was it good?
I totally went in with the wrong expectations. I probably should not have been expecting Apollo 13, but I was expecting that kind of intensity as they're racing to get to the moon and racing to figure things out, and to me, it was boring. It
never ended.
And I
feel like I'm still in it now.
Like, Laura, I feel bad because we have friends that genuinely liked it. And it's not like I want to sit there and try to tell you not to like it, but for me and my experience and what I was expecting, I was just so bored. So, let's hit those honorable mentions. Laura, kick us off.
Honorable mention number 1, Solo.
Yeah.
Did not love it, but it didn't deserve worse. And then the other one was, I'm guessing a straight to Netflix movie, 211 with Nicolas Cage.
All right, some of my honorable mentions, Rampage.
That just barely missed the cut for me.
Yeah, and the reason it missed the cut for me is because it's so dumb it has its own entertainment value.
Well, and I think for me, part of it is my expectations to what I get.
Yes.
I expected nothing. I expected exactly what we got.
I expected high-budget Sharknado.
Yes.
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I have Sharknado parties. I know Sharknado's bad, and that's why it's fun. That's what Rampage was for me. So that's why it's not in the worst, but it's definitely not a great movie.
Yeah.
I also put Pacific Rim Uprising in that category.
That was also just barely missed the cut for me, too.
Did you watch that with me?
I did.
Oh, yeah. And then one of mine was Peppermint. I wanted to like Peppermint more because John Wick, Equalizer, I love that style of action film returning, and I want to encourage that in Hollywood, keep making movies like that. Peppermint was a wannabe that and not.
Yes, and I completely agree. So my number one, A Wrinkle in Time.
I should have had that on my list!
Oh, so that's not your number one?
No! Oh my gosh, that so should have been on my list.
That movie was bad.
The kid pets Oprah's face as he's flying by on the leaf. Oh my gosh.
And then you've got them all small, and then Oprah is like the size of a house. And really, I enjoyed the book.
Yes.
And I really didn't care if it was different from the book as long as it was entertaining.
Yeah. It wasn't even that.
It wasn't.
You know what's interesting?
Bad.
It's been a little while since I read the book, and it's been a little while since I've seen the movie, so I'm totally going off memory here. But the book brings God into the storyline.
It does.
And when they bring God into the storyline, it's incredibly interesting. Then they ripped that right out of the movie and kind of took out the movie's soul, and now I'm watching a very neutered version of what we got in the book.
If you're gonna remake a book, at least keep it.
Yes.
I mean, true to the source material.
So it felt like what they did is they replaced where they talked about God with more new agey stuff, and it totally didn't work.
I mean, if they could have made it work, it would have been fine, but it did not.
It did not work.
And so that's why it's number one on my least favorite movies of the year.
Oh, man, yeah.
What's yours?
Man, I'm so depressed. Okay.
Didn't see it.
Rewind. Honorable mention. A Wrinkle in Time.
Actually, that probably would have made your top five.
Oh, gosh, that would have made my top five. I am having a crisis of... Wait, no. I'm not having a crisis of conscience. It was so bad, I forgot.
Yes. So now, what is your number one?
My number one is the Netflix original Mute.
Oh, I fell asleep during that.
Yes, and I just turned it off.
It was bad.
And good cast, Skarsgård brother. You got Paul Rudd.
That's two Skarsgård. I cannot say their names. Movies in our top fives.
I guess so. I don't know. I wanted to watch it because I just finished Altered Carbon, and I was like, okay, I'm in the mood for something else futuristic and sci-fi and fun. And I don't even remember the half that I did watch. And I just remember turning it off and going, I don't care enough to finish this movie.
I know, and that's bad because we rarely turn off movies.
We rarely
do.
Normally,
we try, but it just, I forgot about that movie completely.
Well, in terms of top 5 worst list, she won. Because I just totally forgot something that was so bad. I completely
forgot about A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, Wrinkle in Time, Hold the Dark, which we just watched.
I know. Well,
we just watched.
We both tried to forget it.
Oh,
it was bad.
my
But I forgot about Mute. So.
Yeah, no, that one was pretty big. So anyway, what is your top 5 worst movies for 2018? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for our next ranking video, movie review, theological analysis, or anything else we do here. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.